you mentioned this idea of social enterprise, and I know that you work a lot with that business model. So I was wondering if you could explain what a social enterprise is and how this aligns with the work that you do.
I'm very glad to do that. Thank you for the question. A social enterprise is an organization that uses commercial means, a commercial strategy, to achieve social and environmental objectives within the framework of a commercial discipline. So, by being financially and commercially sustainable, but using the reinvesting the profits into the magnifying of its impact over society and the environment. So, in our case, our social enterprises magnify employment. They try to maximize employment opportunities. So they create a large supply chain around them, a large supply chain made up of cooperatives and micro enterprises and self-help groups, small producers that all work coordinated by in a single supply chain that is coordinated by the social enterprise, respecting labor standards and human rights, and at the same time adopting sustainable production techniques that makes also the impact on the environment, that minimize the impact on the environment or that produce a positive impact on the environment. So our social, just
Wow.
to give you an example, our social enterprise in Burkina Faso, the name
Mhm.
is Cabes, Cabes.
Yes.
In the French pronunciation, you say, and the Italian one, you say Cabes. Cabes works with 91, coordinates a supply chain where 91 cooperatives work. 2,400 people, mostly women, work in this supply chain.
Wow.
But Cabes buys organic cotton because Cabes produces fabric, cotton fabric, luxury fabric for
Mhm,
the
mhm.
fashion industry. It buys organic cotton from farmers in Burkina Faso, thus incentivizing farmers to produce organic cotton, to respect organic and bio procedures, thus avoiding,
Wow.
enabling them to avoid the use of fertilizers and pesticides that are big sources of greenhouse gas emissions, and transforming all these with manual technologies or with mechanized technologies that make use
Mm,
of renewable sources of energy, and thus producing in the society also a green discipline in production processes. So this is the role of Cabes. Of course, Cabes has to sell its own fabric. Cabes has to be profitable in
yeah.
order to accumulate these profits, the retained earnings in accounting terms, in the
Mhm.
financial reports of Cabes. These retained earnings are reinvested in the business in order to expand the impact of the business and in order to finance the operations of this business.
Mm.
So this is what a social enterprise is in practical terms in our world.
I love that. And I think the idea of that ripple effect where the social enterprise really influences its surroundings and, influences the way that people are thinking about agriculture and production in a very positive way is something very special. And I wish that that was more common in the fashion industry. But I
Mamma
think
mia.
it also speaks to the rise of alternative business models, which we're seeing now and we have seen for a while. But how these alternative business models are so important in really creating a more equitable and just and sustainable fashion system, while also tackling overconsumption and overproduction. And I think that you have a lot of experience with working with this business model, and I was wondering if you could share just your thoughts about alternative business models and their role in
Yes,
transforming fashion.
again, absolutely. Again, it's about respecting human rights and labor rights. That the first step. No society is sustainable if human rights are not and labor rights are not respected.
Mm.
But then it's about also these kind of business models also promote a better and more sustainable use of materials, of material
Mm.
inputs. A better a business model that involves consumers also in the equation and involves consumers through transparent and precise communication on the story, the sustainability story behind every product,
Mm.
can also tackle the problem of overconsumption and of waste of materials. And these along also with circularity. The issue of the use of materials overproduction is a big issue in this industry,
Yep.
a big issue. It can be tackled by involving consumers, by focusing more on a dialogue with them. It's a difficult thing. There is no
Hmm.
recipe on this, but also in increasing the circularity rate.
Mm.
This is something the industry um, struggles with, and it's difficult. They are right; it's very difficult. Recently, I was in a debate with a colleague from the fashion industry,
Mm.
and the moderator asked us, "What would you like to see in the future?" And they said, "The circularity rate of the fashion industry increased by 500%."
Mm.
Just to, but just to throw a provocation on the table, but the other colleagues started laughing. But then we said, yeah, but how to do it?
Yeah.
These alternative business models help the industry to study a new business model for themselves
Mm.
and to struggle their way through the conundrum of sustainability. Because sustainability is not a recipe, it's not a blueprint.
Mm.
You don't. There is. You do this, and that, and you are sustainable. You put a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of that, and you are sustainable. Sustainability is a journey.
Yeah.
Every company has to create its own journey with its own sustainability objectives. So these alternative business models can be used as inputs, as food for thought for the industry, for every company to study their own way to sustainability. And I have, on a positive note, a lot of colleagues in the industry that are engaged in this. And so there is hope in
There
that
is hope.
sense.